Hello and welcome back to Wario Land 3. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we're going to be exploring this big hole we created when we caused the volcano to erupt. Now, of course, I don't quite like this level it's quite a unique one because it really is just a big hole, as you can see here. It's just a huge plummet, and you have to kind of figure out which parts of the edges it wants you to go to. I got kind of lucky here and found the first place quite easily, because this happens to be the silver chest, which is of course what we're after, because it's the first chest in the level. But now we need to figure out where the silver key is, and it could be, there's a lot of places it could be. It's a big area, but it just be a big empty shaft, which makes it actually quite tricky to navigate. But it's quite an interesting level because of that, though. So of course we'll be becoming this kind of Wario so that we can be a lot more mobile in the air. Careful of the owls, because they can of course pull us back up. And here's the key. But this guy can't break anything. This owl can't get us up there, so that's not going to be any help. Because we can't reach the owl from here. So let's go further down, shall we? We just have to let ourselves keep falling, because as you can see, we're immune to all traps right now, and enemies, so we can't really get hit by anything right now. And there's nothing to bring us back out of this mode. So part of the puzzle is going to be figuring out how to get down here in other modes other than this. Whoops, accidentally made him run away, better get it back. There we go. Yeah, it's quite annoying if you accidentally jump at those guys, they kind of just run away and you have to respawn them. So let's float back up to get that key, shall we? We actually figured out the right thing to do pretty much immediately, which is nice. Because those breakable blocks are actually a bit of a red herring to the right of the key, because there's no way of breaking them from the air. So we need to enter the key's little box a different way, by this little passage under the bottom of it. Now we have a silver key. So now it's time to quite easily actually get to the chest, because it's just right here. Got quite lucky there. So this is a level that seems intimidating, but you can kind of figure out pretty quickly, really, when you know what kind of moves you have and things like that. And to get an eye. So now we've done that part of the colossal hole, so let's go to the other level we unlocked. Which is of course the crater. I quite like how it actually looks like a crater as well, like you can see the hill on the right there. And there's a lot more kind of platforms, because unlike the hole, it's still a vertical level, but it's not like a straight down level. It's got a lot more going on than that. I do quite like that it still feels like a crater though. Like it still feels like a mountain, it's just this mountain is more easy to climb, because it's not just a hole, it's an actual mountain. Which just happens to be at the peak of it now. And yeah, the way to find, in this sort of maze of blocks, the way to find down is just like look for a little bit of a raised ceiling. That's kind of the tell with these kind of mazes, is wherever there's like a little bit of like leeway in the other direction. Like here, for example, now we know we can go left here. Partly because it's also the only way here, and of course raised ceiling, so that means more down. It's quite a nice way of allowing you to find your way around. It's also just fun to break through all these blocks and get so many coins as well. You get so many coins from doing that, so it's going to be very handy for the little golf minigame. So we need to use this caterpillar in a few ways. First, I'm going to break these blocks and see what's up here. But it's very easy with this, as you saw with the previous breakable blocks, it's quite easy to accidentally keep too many of the breakable blocks in the area, and then you have to kind of like try and figure out how to not have them actually accidentally knock him in the wrong direction, or have the blocks like knock him out of your hands. You have to be quite careful with how you move him. So these little puzzles can be quite annoying if you don't remember that the mechanics can be quite tricksy and that you have to be very careful with them. But don't worry, I don't keep in all of me screwing this up. Yeah, I accidentally killed him with that move, so I had to leave and go back in again. Huge pain, but there we go. And yeah, when doing a kind of like trying to reach something a bit further away, it's definitely much safer to do the jump and throw move, because it is a lot less likely to accidentally crush them against the ceiling in a way that you don't want. Of course, there's more blocks here, so let's go back for him. We do still need him. But of course, this is the red key. It isn't quite what we're looking for, but at least now we know what the red key is for next time. But we do still need this guy though because of these blocks. So let's let him do his thing, shall we? A little bit of revenge. He gets a little revenge now that we finish bullying him. And of course those blocks are preventing us actually getting to those blocks over there. So now we need to figure out how to actually well, get ourselves where we need to be, which is to those woolen blocks. But of course we can see the key behind these fire blocks as well, so we have to get Fire Wario up there. So we need to be Fire Wario, we need to stop as Fire Wario up on that platform, which requires quite a lot of accuracy and is quite tricky. It's always quite tricky to get a Fire Wario to a specific location because of how frantically he moves. But that always makes it quite a fun challenge though. But happily those blocks are quite well placed to help keep us in the right position. So now we have the silver key. We've broken these blocks as well now. Be careful of this guy. But yeah, this is where I realised, yep, we do need the wool Wario to get through there. So let's go for Wario's Woolly World, shall we? I quite like this mode, it's quite a funny one. Another blue eye. You'll be able to guess what these eyes do. You remember this door, don't you? We've seen it before. In the Tower of Revival. It's actually got quite an interesting puzzle behind it, so let's go find that door, shall we? Now, I actually entered this level and then kind of leave and go back into it because it's something that happens in the level. I think that it can only be done during the day, but I'm wrong on that. It's just that's why it suddenly cuts to day when I get to the tower. Like that, because I thought I couldn't do it at night, but I was just misunderstanding, because I thought it was working the same way as the Sleeping Village, where like in the day it's donuts, in the night it's zombies, but you'll see why that's not the case. But that was what I was thinking was happening. So we need to do this puzzle every time we need to come here, which is a little bit annoying, because the fire block always comes back. Clearly this tower's trying to keep us out. The tower's a tower of revival. What's it trying to stop us reviving? An interesting question. And it's really annoying that the little Fiber Wario can't reach enough to do that torch. That was very, very clever placement of the spike. Something like that is just short enough he can't reach the actual torches. Which is of course a little bit annoying, but you just have to kind of deal with that. There we go. It's always best to stay as high as you can when you go into Fireball, just because it's less annoying than having to climb all the way back up again. So let's get past this little furnace. And here's the door we saw earlier. So before we do the obvious puzzle of getting Fire Wario all the way up these, We'll do a little bit of investigation. Yep, we need Donut Wario first, and then Fire Wario. Yeah, these guys were why I thought it couldn't be done during the day, because I thought it was one of those things where these guys would be here at the night, and then Donut people would be there for the day, but that's not how it works. So let's just be careful avoiding these guys. They're little trumpy heads. And of course, there's actually another level, which is where the Donut people actually are. But of course, we can see the red key from here, which is what we're going for, because it's the second visit. But there's also those green doors in the way. So we also need to find a way to lower those doors. This is quite an advanced puzzle. It requires multiple different Wario forms, and I quite like that. You can tell that the tower really wants to keep us out, because it's kind of putting every single obstacle in our way, and I quite like the way it does that. I thought it was quite clever. It really tells you that whatever this tower is doing, it does not want you to do what you're doing. And just enough Fat Wario left to break the second donut block, which will make this next section much less annoying. Because now we need to get Fire Wario up this little staircase. And this is quite a tricky bit, because you have to bounce him just right off these walls, so that it ricochets in just the right position to make the next jump. But then again, it is a much easier puzzle than the first room, ironically. The first room is actually a much harder version of this puzzle, because you have to be accurate enough to hit the torches as well. While in this one, you just have to get up there and stay up there. But here we are. But of course, you also need to get through these little thin platforms as well. We've used Donut, we've used Fire. That means now the Zombie Wario actually has a purpose, because he can go through these little flat platforms. So let's get up there. And use Zombie Wario, shall we? And now we've raised the block, so we have to go all the way back up now. So instead of showing you going through every single room, I just figured we've already seen these puzzles. So I figured I'd just cut to when we actually get where we need to get to. So here we are at the top of Donut Room again. Let's get to that red key, and then we can finally end this level. Then see what's inside this very interesting chest. What's being kept away from us. Guess we'll see. It's been incredibly valuable, whatever it is. Certainly not something you can buy at any grocery store or anything like that. Some kind of weird treasure. So let's become Human Wario again and open that chest. And it's garlic. Maybe able to see where this is going, because garlic is essentially it's Wario's version of a mushroom. It makes him a lot stronger. Now we can do a bigger bash that can break through multiple blocks at once, but also we can break through these blocks now, which is very versatile, because we've been seeing these blocks absolutely everywhere. Although I believe we can only go to them horizontally right now. But that's still a big upgrade. So I'll see you next time as we explore the bank of the Wild River, the Colossal Hole again, and unlock a new level at Sea Turtle Rocks. I'm sure the Sea Turtle does rock. So I'll see you next time as we play with those new powers. Goodbye. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check out my Patreon as well. Speaking of, thank you to James Rossi for supporting me on Patreon.